Alright, so today we're going to be talking about what certainly appears to be John Mayer's latest Dumble Amplifier acquisition. Now, during the Sphere shows, if you've seen the coverage that I've been posting on the channel of all the gear and everything, John brought out this really wacky looking amplifier as part of his 3 amplifier setup for the Sphere shows. And this amplifier was originally placed on its side, kind of beside the original amp rig being used, and then transitioned to actually being just part of the main amp rig. Now, this amplifier resembles a Fender Bandmaster in shape. The knob layout essentially looks the same with the input jacks and everything, but a few things were different. It appeared to have a weird grill cloth that wasn't the standard Fender grill cloth. It had, where the Fender logo would be, a metal Ultraphonix style lettering placed on it instead, and then it looked like there was something covering up where the Fender logo normally would be, and then it had a kind of greenish, tealish pilot light. A very bizarre looking amp to say the least, and of course speculation kind of started running, and the easiest kind of thing here with this amplifier, the easiest thing you can the conclusion you could come to would be that this was a Dumble modded Ultraphonix Bandmaster, but knowing John, there was always a little bit of a chance it'd be something kind of weird, especially because I've never seen a Dumble amplifier look like this before. Usually, from my understanding at least, is he would just kind of leave them looking aesthetically like a Fender, but then of course go inside they're a completely different amplifier more or less. But I've never seen something that looked this wacky, and knowing John, and I feel like sometimes how he's cheeky with his gear, I thought there was a small chance this amplifier could have been anything. However, we have some incredible new details about what certainly appears to be the exact same amplifier that John is using for the Sphere shows, thanks to Emerald City Guitars. They posted a video yesterday, July 3rd, where they did 2 insane vintage collections in Oregon, 30 plus guitars, Guitar RV, and they essentially go to 2 different collectors and got a bunch of gear. And in the garage of one of the houses, they show this Dumble Ultraphonix Bandmaster, and I'm just gonna play the clip for you guys and then we'll discuss more in detail.
It's always a good sign. Right when I got here, a Dumble Ultraphonix, taking that home, which is awesome. A couple other cool boutique amps. Yeah, the last one we had of these lasted a day, but that just has the vibes. Got the cool black gator skin grill cloth, and yeah, man.
Alright, so as you guys could see in that clip there, this certainly appears to be the exact same amplifier that John is using for the Sphere shows. Kind of coincidental that we get this video posted not terribly long after John's seen using this, so I assume since Emerald City Guitars just posted this video, this might have been like a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago or something like that, just before maybe Dead & Company's residency started at the Sphere. Maybe they called John up and were like, hey, we found a cool kind of wacky looking Dumble amplifier and you might want to check it out. That's actually what I kind of theorize might have happened in the video talking about just the amp rig in general, where I was like, you know, it's a kind of a slightly weird looking amplifier, but it probably sounds brilliant, and someone might have just called John up and was like, hey, you gotta check this amp out. But I gotta say, seeing this amplifier at this level of detail, I've done my best to provide screenshots for you guys. It looks a lot better than kind of the very far away shots we've gotten of it, where it was kind of hard to tell exactly what was going on. It certainly looked a little weird at the time, and I remember kind of saying, it's not the prettiest looking amplifier, but definitely seeing it up close and a lot more personal, at least what we only can assume is it. It definitely looks a lot cooler. Now, some details that are just kind of cool to point out here is that this amplifier is for sure a Fender Bandmaster. That's what it originally started as. I'm saying that just because if you look at the knob layout and everything, it's identical to a Fender Bandmaster. I'll kind of impose a shot of my Fender Bandmaster on the screen for you guys so you can see the knob layout, everything is identical. And then actually you can see just above where there appears to be black tape and then label maker tape that says Dumble, where the Bandmaster kind of wording would be on the amplifier, you can see just the top of the word D in band actually sticking out above the tape. That's what that little white kind of mark is there. So you can tell that this was a Bandmaster, or at least started off as a Bandmaster in its life. The knobs were switched to the more kind of Dumble style of knobs. The jewel was switched out in the pilot light, and then of course the grill cloth, which is this kind of snakeskin black. Looks pretty cool. And then instead of Fender, it says Ultraphonix across the side of it. So I've never seen an amplifier that looks anywhere remotely near like that. but it just matches the one John is using on stage perfectly. And knowing Dumble, did he make 2 amps that looked exactly the same like this, like a Fender modded one that looked like this? Did he make more than one of them? I'm very skeptical to say, and I think it's just such a huge coincidence that we're seeing this video come out right when John starts using it, and we've known him to purchase things from Emerald City Guitars before. His 63 Fiesta Red Stratocaster was from Emerald City Guitars, and obviously just a very high-profile store. I mean, go and check out their Instagram, their store link. I'll have it all linked in the description down below, their YouTube channel. My 64 Fender Vibroverb actually was at Emerald City Guitars before the owner I bought it off of got it from, so kind of a little bit of history of one piece of gear that I own, at least, going through Emerald City Guitars as well at one point in its life a few years ago. So really cool to see this, because we could only speculate that it was a Dumble modded Bandmaster at the time from what we could see on stage, but now we have essentially confirmation, 99.999% confirmation this is what it is. I would bet that this is just the amp John is using. It's just, like I said, way too much of a coincidence. It looks the exact same in terms of just the actual like scheme of it, and the timing is just, yeah, there's no way. I am pretty confident saying that this is the amplifier that John is using, which is really cool that we even have these kind of high resolution shots of it too. Now, there's one other detail that I wanted to point out here in regards to this amplifier that we're talking about, and it actually has to do with another amplifier we see earlier on in this video, which again is all going to be linked in the description down below. You see what appears to be a Fender Bassman head that's then slightly gotten the same kind of Dumble treatment to it, where the knobs are changed out now from the Fender knobs to kind of the more Dumble style knobs. The word Bassman has been covered, and then you can just barely make out that there's some label tape over the covering that you can only assume would be like the Ultraphonix Bandmaster that says Dumble Amp, because the amp part isn't covered up. The pilot light, the jewel, is the exact same color as on the Ultraphonix, and then the kind of metal Fender wording across the grill cloth has been removed. You can actually see the kind of, you know, where the grill cloth discoloration is. So 2 amplifiers from the same collection that, at least to me, look like unlike any other kind of Dumble modded Fender I've ever seen. So it's really cool even just to discover, okay, there are some kind of, maybe some things we don't really know about that Dumble did, or that not a lot of people have seen like this. So kind of just worth noting that there's this Fender Bassman that was part of the collection, and who knows, maybe in the future, if we see John using this amplifier, we'll have to remember, I'll remember, I'm pretty sure, but we'll have to remember to go back and kind of take a look at this as well, because you never know if some of these collectors sell and people buy. John definitely, you know, is a massive Dumble amplifier collector. I've done a video covering all of John's Dumble amp history on the channel. Now it's outdated, unfortunately, but covers all of that. He owns so many Dumbles, and there's a few that I've discovered he owns actually as well since I made that video, but kind of cool. Kind of keep tabs on kind of what's going on here and kind of document it all as we do on the channel. So really great information here that we got from Emerald City Guitars. I was very surprised when a bunch of you guys forwarded me this video saying, hey, watch this at about the 6-minute mark, check it out, and oh my goodness, I've seen that amplifier before. So really cool. Shout out to Emerald City Guitars for posting content like this. It's awesome. Fantastic store. As I said, all of their links will be in the description down below. Go check out Dead & Company at the Sphere if you are able to as well, and hear this amp in person. And, you know, enjoy the music. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.